From the PEP Radio newsroom, this is the morning news for October 1st, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. The Senate is adjourned for the day as of Tuesday without extending government funding, meaning a shutdown is certain at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday. Democratic senators voted down House-passed legislation to keep the government running for the next 7 weeks, and Republicans said they would not negotiate on the bill, leaving Congress at an uncertain impasse. Senators will return to work Wednesday morning. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he's hoping that enough Democrats will change their votes to reopen soon. The House is not in session this week. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is set to hear the Alien Enemies Act appeal. The Conservative Appeals Court Tuesday night vacated a ruling by a 3-judge panel in which a majority found the Trump administration was misusing an 18th century wartime act to target a Venezuelan gang. One judge on the circuit, Leslie H. Southwick, wrote that the decision will delay an inevitable final resolution to the unprecedented case by the U.S. Supreme Court. The nation's highest court can only hear the case after the Fifth Circuit is done with it. But another judge, James C. Ho, apparently writing for the majority, noted that the Trump administration asked the entire circuit to weigh in first. Federal agents have grabbed and shoved a journalist outside a New York City immigration court, sending one to the hospital. The clash Tuesday is the latest between authorities enforcing Trump's immigration crackdown and members of the public seeking to observe and document their actions. A visual journalist identified as El Vural Elibal of the Turkish news agency Anadolu hit his head on the floor at the 26th Federal Plaza in Manhattan after U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents pushed one journalist off an elevator and shoved another to the floor, according to the video and eyewitnesses. A bystander held Elibal's head and a nurse treated him until an ambulance arrived, witnesses said. The other journalists, a New York Police Bureau Chief Dean Moses and Olga Fedorova, a freelance photographer whose clients include the Associated Press, were not seriously injured. Federal agents were being swarmed by agitators and members of the press, Tricia McLaughlin said. That's Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, who defended the agents' actions, saying they were being swarmed and that their operation was being obstructed. Fedorova said photographers had worked in the hallways outside immigration court for months without incident. The agents making arrests Tuesday, she said, didn't announce any limits to where journalists could go, and they hadn't made it clear they were making an arrest when they got on the elevator. An offshore earthquake of 6.9 magnitude collapsed walls of houses and buildings late Tuesday in central Philippine province, killing at least 31 people in the Philippines, injuring many others, and sending residents scrambling out of homes into darkness as the intense shaking cut off power, officials said. The epicenter of the earthquake was set off by movement in a local fault at a depth of 5 kilometers, or approximately 3 miles, was about 12 miles northeast of Bogo, a coastal city of 90,000 in Cebu province, where at least 14 residents died. Disaster mitigation officer Rex Egot told the Associated Press by telephone. The death toll in Bogo was expected to rise. Workers were trying to transport a backhoe to hasten search and rescue efforts in a cluster of shanties in a mountain village hit by a landslide and boulders, he said. Turning to Pennsylvania news, Pennsylvania counties, school districts, and social service agencies are warning of mounting layoffs, borrowing costs, and damage to the state safety net as a politically divided state government enters its 4th month of a budget stalemate. The stalemate entangling Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro, the Democratic-controlled House, and the Republican-controlled Senate has stalled billions of dollars from going to schools and social services, and it has no certain end in sight as the federal government careens towards a shutdown at midnight. The finger pointing in Pennsylvania State House has fallen along partisan lines. Now it is a campaign trail topic as Republican State Treasurer Stacey Garrity prepares to challenge Shapiro's bid for a second term in 2026's election. The fight in the State House over things like public school funding and curbing the rising cost of Medicaid doesn't involve most of the money in a roughly $50 billion budget, but the effect is being felt broadly. The grant funded, for example, the Jefferson Clarion Head Start, which has laid off more than 50 staff, while more than 300 families who had slots in state-funded pre-kindergarten programs have had to line up other arrangements, quit jobs, or find ways to work from home. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.